गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Let us read on page 42, Maha iti Brahma. Start. Brahma Brahmana vava sarve veda mahiyante bhoriti vai pranaha bhuva ityapanaha suvaritanaha maha ityannam अन्नेन वाव सर्वे प्राणामहीयन्ते तावा एता चतस्तश्चतुर्धा चतस्रश्चतस्रो व्याहृतयः तायो वेद स वेद ब्रह्मा सर्वेऽस्मै देवा बलिमावहन्ति। Please read the next anuvak because the thought is continuous. Saya eshontarhridaya akashaha tasminnayam purusho manomayaha amruto hiranmayaha antarena taluke ya eshastana ivavalambate seendrayonihi यत्रासौ केशान्तो विवर्तते व्यपोह्यशीर्षकपाले भूरित्यग्नौ प्रतिष्ठते भुव इति वायौ सुवरित्यादित्ये मह इति ब्रह्मणि आप्नोति स्वाराज्यम् आप्नोति मनसस्पतिम् वाक्पतिश्चक्षुष्पतिः श्रोत्रपतिर्विज्ञानपतिः एतत्ततो भवति आकाशशरीरं ब्रह्म सत्यात्मप्राणारामं मन आनन्दम् शान्तिः समृद्धममृतम् इति प्राचीनि लोक्योपास्व। अयम लोकः अग्नि ऋग्वेदः प्राणः इति प्रथमा व्यावृति भूः इति। The very concept of discovering the fourth principle is called as the Vyavruti Upasana. This fourth principle is used for doing Upasana mainly because this whole manifestation is the mathematics of the three. Whether we talk of the three planes of experience, or we talk of the three gunas, or we talk of the triputi, the experiencer, experienced and experiencer. Therefore, in this upasana we are trained. And beyond these three, there is an independent principle, and because of this independent fourth principle, the earlier three factors are functional and valid. And therefore, these three Vyavritis are very much known to everyone. All of us know that there is something called as Jagra, Sapna, Sushupti. All of us know that there is something called as experiencer, experienced, and experiencer. Jnata, Jnana, Jneya. This is known popularly to everyone. But the fourth one, Mahachamasya Pravedayate. But the fourth one is only known to this Mahachamasya, who has discovered that behind this relative existence there is an absolute substratum. And after having told this principle, then the teacher tells us, now do upasana. So on page 44, last paragraph, ayam lokaha agnihi rugvedaha pranaha iti prathama vyarhuti bhuhu iti. So bhu is to be equated with this four. Then evam uttarottaraikaika chaturdha bhavati. So in this manner the four vyarhutis are representing the four stages. And maha iti brahma. And the maha, the fourth vyahruti is the Brahman. And Brahma iti onkaraha. And here we are talking about which Brahma? That Brahma which is the pratika, which is the symbol, which is the Saguna Brahma. And unless we recognize this Saguna Brahma, Nirguna Brahma cannot be even contemplated upon. So upasana is necessarily of the Saguna Brahma initially, and then the same Saguna Brahma is contemplated upon as one's own essential nature, and then it leads to the Nirgun Nirakar Tattva. So here, Om iti Brahma iti Onkaraha Shabdadikarat Anyasya Asambhavat Uktartham Anyat. And other things we have already explained. Now, Tava eta chatastha chaturdha iti tava eta bhurvo suvam maha iti chatastha eka chaturdha chatush prakaraha dha shabda prakara vachanaha. So these four vyahrutis are the expression of the same principle in four ways. Just like it is the same reality which is expressing as the substratum, which is expressing as the superimpose. And in the superimpose, there are three factors. The knower, known knowledge. And in this manner, the same reality, chatush prakar, by the four methods or four ways it is expressing. Therefore, chatush prakaraha, chatasra satya chaturdha bhavanti ityarthaha. Therefore, the same reality is expressing in four ways. Now, tasam yatha kluptanam punaha upadesha tatha eva upasana niyamarthaha. And tasam yatha kluptanam, as these are explained in the earlier, punaha upadeshaha. Again and again it is said, because upasana niyamartha. There is always a rule and regulation associated with every upasana. We cannot do the upasana of our own choice. Therefore, it is said here in the original mantra, page 42, Tava eta chatasra chaturdham, chatasra chatasro vyahrutayaha. So, again and again it is repeated that those vyavritis which were told earlier, that it is the one substratum and then the four superimposed, rather the three superimposed. So, chatasra chatusro vyahrutayaha. Why this is again said? Because in upasana there is certain rule and regulation to be followed, and according to that only it should be done. And then tayo veda. So yathokta vyahrutiyoho veda sa veda vijanati kim brahma. So in this way he who knows. Now what is in this way? Two ways. One, the manifest, where the three are, and the unmanifest, the fourth one. In this manner, he who knows the Nirguna Nirakar, the substratum, the unmanifest reality, as well as the manifestation of the reality in the form of Bhur-Bhuva-Suvha-iti. In this way, he who knows both ways. So when we talk of the reality beyond the manifestation, then it is transcendental aspect of the reality. And when we discover the presence of the reality in this relative plane, then we talk of the immanent aspect of the reality. So in this way, he who knows transcendental and the immanent reality simultaneously, Kim what Brahma, this is what the Brahman is, in this manner. Now, when this is said, a question is raised. Sir, Nanu Tad Brahma sa Atma iti jnate Brahmani. When it was said earlier in the same mantra that Maha iti Brahma and this Maha is the Atma. So Maha iti Tad Brahma sa Atma Angani Anya Devataha. So he has already known. Again, why do you say Tayo Veda? Why this is again said? So Tad Brahma sa Atma iti jnate Brahmani, Sati Saptami. When this Brahman is already known as the self, jnate Brahmani, na vaktavyam avidnyatavat sa Veda iti. So we should not say again, as if he has not known, Vedavat. He has not known, and therefore he wants to know that he who knows the Brahma in this manner. So this way there is something wrong. Either Sa Brahma, Sa Atma, that was wrong, or Sa Veda Brahma iti, this is wrong. Because when it is already said, why repeat? This is the question. Now this question is replied, Na tad vishesha vivakshutvad adoshaha. No, because what was said in the earlier statement was Bhur-Bhuva-Suvha-iti eta tisro vyahritaya tasamu hasmaitam chaturthim mahachamasya pravedayate maha iti tad brahma sa atma. This was only a statement of fact revealed to the student, but the student does not have the independent aparoksha anuhuti. He has not yet realized. He was only given this information. As it is said in the our Aitara Upanishad, that before the creation, Atma alone was. So now I know Atma is. Over Upanishad, we know nothing except that we know nothing. Therefore, here when it is said, Tad Brahma sa Atma, this is only revealed to the student by the teacher, and yet the student has not yet realized the truth. And therefore, Tad Vishesha Vivekshutvat. Vivekshutva means desiring to know with proper discrimination. Adoshaha, this is not wrong. Satyam Vijnatam Chaturtha Vyavrutyatma Brahma iti. Yes, what you tell is true, Satyam. What? Chaturtha Vyavrutatma Brahma iti Vijnatam. The reality is known as this Brahma, the Chaturthatma, Chaturtha Vyavruti, Maha iti Brahma sa Atma. We agree. However, natu tad visheshaha hridaya anta upalabhyatvam manomayatvadischa. But he has not yet discovered that Atma, that Brahman, that Maha, that Chaturtha Vyavruti to be his own essential self in his own heart. He has not yet realized. And unless he recognizes this as his own essential self in his own heart, there is no completion in the knowledge. And therefore, there is nothing wrong when it was said. Further, this Shashta Anuvak is a continuation of the fifth Anuvak. And therefore, the teacher brings this thought. Shanti Samruddham iti evam anta Visheshana Visheshya Rupa Dharma Pugo na Vidnyayate iti. Similarly, if we take the Shashta Anuvak, that is why we read, it is said towards the end of the Shashta Anuvak, Shanti Samruddham iti. So he attains the peace and prosperity. Now this attainment of the peace and prosperity by the one he who knows. And he who knows is not mentioned in the sixth Anuvak anywhere. Therefore, what we have to do? We have to take the he who knows from the 5th Anuvak, and the same thought is continued in the next Anuvak, next chapter. And therefore, it is necessary that Tayo Veda, what is said, is not wrong. Now, Visheshana Vishesha Rupa Dharma Pugaha. Now, what is the Visheshana, what is the Vishesha? That means the manifest or Saguna Sakara Brahma and Nirgun Nirakara Brahma is to be recognized as told in the next Anuvak. So, Tad Vivakshuhu hi Shastram Avidnyatam iva Brahma Matva Svaveda Brahma Itiyaha. So, keeping this in view, Tad Vivakshu hi Shastram Avidnyatam iva. So, he who has as if not recognized the reality, because he is only talking about, he has not done the upasana. So he who will do this upasana as told in the next Anuvak, how this upasana is done at the individual level. So to tell that, it is imagine that he has not known the Brahman, like our case. We talk about Brahman, and this Brahman is nothing but a word, difficult to write and pronounce, and also to decline. But when we talk of Brahman as one's own essential nature, then it has a different meaning. Therefore, avidnyatam iva brahmamatva. So somebody will ask us, do you know Brahman? We will change the topic. Because what to talk about? The moment we will say, yes, aham suveda iti, immediately we get firing. And if we say, I do not know, फिर अभी तक क्या किया? If you do not know, what you have done for so many months? So anyway, we come in a corner. Therefore, avidnyatam iva brahma matva brahma veda itiyaha ataha na doshaha. Therefore, there is nothing wrong in that. Now, yohi vakshamanena dharmapugena vishishtam brahma veda saveda brahma iti abhiprayaha. So he who recognizes this Brahma as indicated in the Shashta Anuvak, Dharmapuga means from all points of view. So, what are the all points of view? This Brahman is supporting the Annamaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh, Manomaya Kosh, Vijnanamaya Kosh, Anandamaya Kosh, and here the Upalabdhi of the Brahman is from the Vijnanamaya Kosh. Then the Vijnanamaya Kosh gets identified with the Manomaya, then through the Manomaya, Pranamaya, through the Pranamaya to Annamaya, and in this way the Brahman is as if now becoming Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, but essentially is Anandamaya when all these conditionings are disappearing or discarded, and in reality the Brahma is far beyond the Panchakoshas. In this way, unless we recognize, the truth is not known. And therefore, ataha yohi vakshamanena dharmapugena vishishtam brahmaveda. So, vakshamana, what is being told in the next chapter. So, in this manner, dharmapugena vishishtam brahma, that Brahma which is indicated with the attributes. Dharmapuga means the assembly of attributes, with the collection of attributes. Brahma Veda iti abhiprayaha. Ataha, therefore, Vakshamana Anuvakena ekata asya ubhayoho hi anuvakayoho ekam upasanam. And therefore, what is the problem? Ekam upasanam. And therefore, the upasana which is said in the 5th Anuvak and the 6th Anuvak, it is ekavakyata, it is oneness. So the same upasana is continued from the 5th Anuvak into the 6th Anuvak, and in this 6th Anuvak they will tell us where this Brahma which we have learnt in the 5th Anuvak is available for cognition. And there only the phala prapti, shanti samrudham apnoti, it is told. Then lingacha bhurityagno pratithishtati ityadikam linga upasanai ekatve. Similarly, it will be seen also in the 6th Anuvak that linga means an indication. It will be indicated that he who gets established in the bhu, he goes to the Aditya Loka. He who is established in the bhuva, he becomes one with the total vayu. And in this manner, that Brahma which is indicated through these 4 vyahrutis in the Pancham Anuvak is continued as the Upasana in the 6th Anuvak. And therefore, in the 6th Anuvak, we don't come across Tayo Veda, etc. because it is already said in the earlier Anuvak. So, Vidhayaka Abhavacha, it is not said in the 6th Anuvak that he who knows this sentence is absent. Nahi Veda Upasitavya iti Vidhayaka Kashi Shabdaha asti Shashtha Anuvake. Vyavritya Anuvake Tayo Veda iti cha Vakshamana Arthatvad न उपासना भेदकः वक्षमाण अर्थत्वं च तद्विशेष विवक्षुत्वाद इत्यादिना उक्तम. Therefore, are you getting where I am? On page 46 end and page 47 beginning. So, therefore, Vyavritya Anuvake, in this 5th Anuvak, when it was said Tayo Veda iti, now this Tayo Veda is also referring to all the sadhana that is done in the 6th Anuvak. And therefore, Vakshamana Arthatvat. So, what is being said in the 6th Anuvak, it is a continuation of the 5th Anuvak. And therefore, there is nothing separate, no Bheda. And that is why Tayo Veda, which is said in the 5th Anuvak, is not a mistake, because that question was raised. Now, after this topic over, then, Sarve Veda Asma Evam Vidushe Angabhuta Avahanti Anayanti Balim Swarajyam Praptau Satyam Ityarthaha. Now, he who knows, Sarve Deva Balim Avahanti, they bring all the Bali offerings to him. How all the Balis or offerings are brought to him, this will be told again in the 6th Anuvak. And in this manner, what is said in the 5th Anuvak, that on page 42, last 2-3 sentences, Tayo Veda Saveda Brahma. So Tayo Veda is said not because what was said earlier was forgotten by the Shruti Mata, but when it is said that earlier it was only revealed as Paroksha Jnanam. Now in this Tayo Veda is the Aparoksha Anubhuti. He who has discovered this reality as his own essential self, what happens to him? Sarve Deva Balimavahanti. And where do he recognize this? So, Ya Esha Antar Hrudaya Akashaha. In his own heart he recognizes. And when he thus becomes established in this reality, then Shanti Samruddham iti Prachina Yogyo Pasva. So in this way, in the earlier time, those who did the Upasana, they attained this prosperity, etc. Therefore, this 5th and 6th Anuvak, they are together in continuation. Now, 6th Anuvak, Sambandha Bhashya. Bhurubhuvasva Swarupa Maha iti etasya vyavrityatmanaha brahmanaha angani anya devata iti uktam. Now, in the 5th Anuvak, what was said? That Bhur, Bhuva, Swa and Maha, these are the 4 Vyahrutis. And these 3 Vyahrutis, earlier 3 Vyahrutis, Bhur, Bhuva, Swa, they are the Angani, Avayava, limbs of the main Vyahruti called as the Maha or the Brahman. Iti Uktam. This was said. Now, Yasya ta Angabhutaha तस्य एव तस्य ब्रह्मणः साक्षात् उपलब्ध्यर्थम उपासनार्थम च हृदय आकाशः स्थानम उच्यते शालिग्रामे इव विष्णोः. Now this Maha, this Brahman, which was indicated as the 4th Vyahruti, and of whom the other 3 Vyahrutis are the Angani, are the limbs of that Brahman, sakshat upalabdhyartham, for realizing that truth, that Brahman, one's own essential self, and upasanartham cha, and also to do the upasana of this thing. So there are 2 things. One is upasana and second is discovery of identity. Unless we do upasana, we do not become purified. And unless we become purified, we are unable to discover the identity between the individual self and the total self. Therefore, these two things are very, very essential. That is why the whole first chapter of Taittiriya Upanishad tells us the importance of upasana. Alas, it so happens that when we study Upanishads and able to give talks here and there, and some people come and start imagining that we are the realized souls, and we also start suspecting and work on their ignorance, and upasana is sidetracked. Because now only giving lectures become the only profession. Please understand, our real strength is not the lectures on the stage. After some time, even a cinema actor can deliver a better discourse. It doesn't take much time. What is required is our foundation has to be firm. And that firmness of the foundation comes only when we are doing our sadhana. Anyatha, it is only imagination that we are doing the spiritual sadhana. So, sakshat upalabdhyartham and upasanartham cha. So where we have to do the upasana? So we have to do the upasana of this Brahman in our own heart in the form of dhyanabhyas. And dhyanabhyas we will do not all the time. We can't do dhyanabhyas all the time. Then what is to be done other times? Other times we do our personal God's puja, upasana, and then when we are coming in contact with the world, that personal God of ours, He alone comes in our life every now and then, through every form, through every interaction. In this manner, we try to maintain the divine thought in spite of the differences of the experiences. And when this is maintained for a long period of time, then only on the seat of meditation, dhyana abhyas is instantaneous. Normally, we imagine that only when we go and sit on the seat of meditation, meditation should happen, nothing will happen. So, yasya ta angabhutaha tasya etasya brahmanaha sakshat upalabdhyartham. To discover as one's own essential self, sakshat upalabdhyartham, upasanartham cha. And also, where the Paramatma Brahman will be upalabdha, therefore we do upasana. Where hridayakashaha sthanam uchyate. So a place is given. If you want to meet Brahman, go there. If you want to meet Devagoda, go nowhere. So, hridayakashaha sthanam uchyate, shaligrame iva vishnoho. So, when we have to do the upasana of Bhagavan Vishnu, what we do? We use shaligram. That way we can use any stone. Brahman is everywhere. Arey Maharaj, Brahman is everywhere, but you are not qualified as yet to discover Brahman everywhere. Everywhere we discover only confusion. For us, everywhere there is confusion. Brahman is nowhere. Therefore, Brahman is of the nature of confusion. So, here, shaligrame iva vishnoho. Till such time we discover the divine presence in and through everything and being, we have to begin our sadhana by focusing our attention on some linga, on some kind of pratika, upasana, adhara. Therefore, in the hridayakasha, so as externally we contemplate, think of Bhagavan Vishnu in the shaligram, which was given to you, in the same manner, this Brahman is contemplated upon in the hridayakasha, in the space of the heart. Tasmin hi tad brahma upasya manam manomayatvadi dharma vishishtam sakshat upalabhyate pano iva amalakam. Now, this Brahman, tasmin hi, there alone, in that hridayakash alone, tad brahma upasya manam should be contemplated upon. Now see how important it is. Therefore, he who is able to withdraw his mind from all occupations in the whole world and come back to the heart instantaneously, he has really been blessed by the grace of the Lord. Our condition is that when we sit for meditation, we are scattered in Desha Kala Vastu. Therefore, Sayyama is a technical term according to Yoga Shastra. Sayyama is control of the mind with reference to Desha Kala Vastu. When our mind does not migrate in Desha, when our mind does not run in time, when our mind does not jump from one object to another object for a long period of time, when these three things are put together, the mind is tied down, and this tying down of the mind is done in the Hridayakasha, in the heart. Therefore, Tasmin hi tad Brahma upasyamanam. There alone the Brahman has to be contemplated upon and nowhere else. And what is that Akasha? Manomayatvadi dharma vishishtam. And this Brahman is upalabdha, is available to us as Manomaya Kosha. So in the Manomaya Kosha, in the Vijnanamaya Kosha, this Brahman is upalabdha, sakshat upalabhyate, and pano iva amalakam, just like a fruit on the palm. So clearly and distinctly, the Brahman is available in one's own heart. Margascha sarvatma bhava pratipattaye vaktavya iti anuvakaha arabhyate. And also the path by which we can attain the Brahman, that path is also traced. Now before we go the path for a ride and ridicule them and thereby destroy ourselves. See, here is very clearly indicated in this Upanishad. What is the meaning of the Yoga Marga, wherein the different words are used in different contexts. One is the Shada Chakra Bhedan. The 6 chakras are, rather the 5 chakras are broken, one goes to the 6. Now there is a complete science, it is not imagination. So when they said that Kundalini is coiled 3.5, and then it is awakened, it has got mouths on both the ends. And when it just grows, unfolds, the total energy is released. And the release of the energy is through this Shada Chakra Bhedan. So this is not imagination. It has a foundation of the Yoga Shastra. But because we do not practice, it is very easy for us to condemn and ridicule. This should never be done. It is contrary to the spiritual ethics. Suppose I follow the path of devotion, I have no business to condemn other paths. Like suppose I am practicing, let us take ENT. It doesn't mean I should condemn those who are practicing the ophthalmology. No. In the same manner, here we will see that the teacher, the Upanishad very clearly brings about that in this heart, the truth is available in the form of the reflected consciousness called as Chidabhasa. And when one recognizes that, then one can play with that Jivatma, because the Jivatma is recognized. Now how it is played? Now the Jivatma is presently identified with the individual gross body, individual Pranamaya Kosh, individual Manomaya Kosh, individual Vijnanamaya Kosh, and individual Anandamaya Kosh. Now when this Jivatma is identified with individuality, he is bound and suffering. Now according to Yoga Shastra, when proper upasana is done, his identification from the individuality is released, and now he is identified with the totality. And when he is identified with the totality, then we see Ashta Siddhi Udaya, how the various great powers are born. This is how we see in the lives of great masters, that they just think and the things happen. They can just appear in any place in the whole universe without changing the present position. At a time, they are available in a dozen of places. So this is not Jadoo, but this is available with authority of the Vedas. And how this upasana is done, this is indicated in this Anuvak. So this is the Marga. So Margascha Sarvatma Bhava Pratipattaye. So unless we attain Sarvatma Bhava, the identity with the totality. So these are the 3 stages. First, through karma, we purify. Through upasana, we become single-pointed and transcend the limitations of the individuality and become one with the totality. This is the second stage. And after that is done, then the third stage comes. Like the fire is not burnt by itself, in the same manner, when I have attained the state of Sarvatmya Bhava, then I come to discover that the ocean and the waves are merely names given to me, the water. In the same manner, unless I come to discover the Sarvatmya Sthiti, then only the transcendental aspect of the reality, which is beyond the limitations of the manifest world, can be cognized. And therefore, here, Margascha Sarvatma Bhava Pratipatte Vaktavyaha. So unless we practice this, there is no way. Now, in this sixth Anuvak, the teacher begins. This, how by the Yoga Marga we attain oneness with the totality. And this attainment of oneness with the totality was told in our Kathopanishad as going to heavens, where Nachiket asked to Yamaraj about this particular topic. So please read this Anuvak again, it's very important Anuvak. Saya eshontar hridaya akashaha tasminnayam purusho manomayaha amruto hiranmayaha antarena taluke ya eshastana ivavalambate se endrayonihi yatra sauke shanto vivartate vyapoiha shirshaka pale भूरित्यग्नौ प्रतिष्ठति भुव इति वायौ सुवरित्यादित्ये मह इति ब्रह्मणि आप्नोति स्वाराज्यम् आप्नोति मनसस्पतिम् वाक्पतिश्चक्षुष्पतिः श्रोत्रपतिर्विज्ञानपतिः एतत्ततो भवति आकाश शरीरं ब्रह्म सत्यात्म प्राणारामं मन आनन्दं शान्ति समृद्धममृतम् इति प्राचीन योग्योपास्व. Now here this upasana, which is practiced earlier outside. So after we have practiced the upasana outside, then the teacher takes up this upasana on the seat of meditation, wherein we recognize something called as Jiva, who is residing in this body and is not limited by the body essentially. Then we work on the Jiva. And how we work on that Jiva, this is indicated here. So what is the working on the Jiva? We first of all discover that this Jiva is no more an individual entity independent of the totality. We first of all discover that the wave is not independent of the ocean. So unless the wave has discovered its ocean status, it can never recognize what the water is. So unless this karya karana bhav, unless this cause-effect relationship is transcended, how it is transcended? Only by one method. The karya, the effect, the wave, the jiva, the individual must merge back into the cause, the ocean, the Hiranyagarbha or Ishvara. And then only from there we take the last leap into the reality wherein our individuality is no more existing. So this is how it is indicated in this Anuvak. Sa iti vitkramya ayam purushaha iti anena sambadhyate. Now here also the words are jumping from one to another. Saya eshontar hridaya akashaha tasmin nayam purusho manomayaha. So what we have to read? Saha ayam purushaha yaha eshaha antar hridaye akashaha tasmin. So this purusha, what we are talking about, whom we have to discover, saha iti ayam purushaha. So saha, this ayam purusha, this person whom we are talking about. Who is he? यहाँ एष अंतर हृदय, this jiva is upalabdha in the core of the heart, in the space of the heart. So antar hrudaye, hrudayasya antaram hृदयम इति पुंडरीकाकारः मासपिंडः प्राण आयतनः अनेक नाड़ी सुशिर ऊर्ध्वनालो अधो मुखः विशस्यमाने पशौ प्रसिद्ध उपलभ्यते. Now what is this hridaya? Hridaya is masapinda, our muscular heart. And how this muscular heart is, it is like a lotus and it is inverted lotus, and therefore urdhvanalaha and the aorta and the vena cava, they are coming from above as if the lotus has become upside down. And then it is said, it is prana ayatanaha, and it is in this heart that the jiva is living. And what is this heart? Aneka sushira nadi. So there are many veins and arteries are coming out of this. Now here the word nadi is very differently to be understood. Normally when we talk of the muscular structure, we can't imagine that from the heart the nerves come out. Nerves come out of the brain if we have. But from the heart only the arteries and the veins only they come out and go in. Then what is the meaning of nadi? So it is not only the blood vessels that are being talked of, but also the psychic process also begins only from the heart. Therefore, when somebody is depressed, dejected, so unless that body who is depressed, dejected is influenced, and that body is the jiva who is residing in the heart, and from that heart he influences the head, the central nervous system. From there only he influences the total psychological apparatus, and therefore this being, this entity, this jiva is the center of the total psychic power. And it is here who is residing in the heart, and the head or the brain, it is only his instrument through which he is functioning. This has to be clearly understood. This is the meaning of the nadi. So, Esha antar hrudaye hrudayasya antar hrudayam iti pundarikakaraha masapindaha prana ayatanaha aneka nadi sushira urdhvanala adho mukaha vishasyamane pashav. When a animal is killed, then we see inside the thorax that there is something called as heart, upside down, prasiddhya upalabhyate. Now Bhagavan Shankaracharya has to talk the language, because maybe in those days it was not a common sight. But now you go anywhere, something or the other is hanging. So there is nothing new about it. We are already realized in this. So Vishasyamane pasho prasiddhya upalabhyate. Further. Tasya antar esha akashaha prasiddha eva karako akashavat. Now inside this heart there is a space. It is not a solid structure. Had it been a solid structure, there can't be blood contained in that. So it is a hollow structure like karako akashavat. Karaka means a kamandalu, a part, a thing which the sannyasis carry. So karaka akashavat. Tasmin ayam purusha. In that empty space in the heart is the jiva residing. All blood around, yes. We are anyway bloody. So there tasmin ayam purusha. Now why he is called as Purusha? Because Purishayanat Purnava Bhuradaya Loka Yena Iti Purushaha. Because it is from this heart alone that the Purusha, the Jiva, is operating and controlling the total body. And there he is sleeping. Why he is sleeping? Because he is not recognizing his essential nature. Therefore, Purishayanat Purusha. So when he will awaken from his delusion that only this much body I am, only this pranamaya kosha I am, as long as the jiva is identified with one individual body, he is understood to be sleeping. Therefore, Purishayanat Purushaha. And in the 7th chapter of Panchadashi we have seen, Atmanam ched vijaniyat ayam asmiti Purushaha. So when this Purushaha discovers Atmanam ched vijaniyat, when he discovers his essential nature, then Kimichan Kasya Kamaya, will he ever desire anything? Because who is there to desire? Kasya kamaya. Then shariram anushajvared. He will never be affected by the modifications of these one set of panchakoshas. And this is how initially we have to recognize this Purusha as Jiva, who is someone other than the gross body. But where is he available? So he is available in the Hridaya Akasha, and there he is called as Purusha because Purishayanat Purushaha. He is sleeping to his own essential nature and getting identified with the limitations of the Panchakoshas. Therefore, this Parabrahma is called as Purusha with reference to his Upalabdhi in the heart when he is identified with the Panchakoshas. Why is called as Purusha? Purnat. Essentially he is infinite. Therefore also he is called as Purusha. See how beautiful the word is. So when the Jiva is identified with the individual Panchakoshas, he suffers. When this Jiva recognizes his essential infinite nature, he enjoys. And therefore, by this word Purusha, the whole sadhana is told. When we suffer, the definition of Purusha is Purushayana. And when we are discarded the sleep of ignorance, then Purnatva Bhuradayaha Loka Yena Iti Purushaha. And when this Purusha is understood to be Purna, infinite, and supporting all the other three, Bhur, Bhuvasvaha, etc., Purna, they are completely permeated by this one reality. When we recognize this, immediately liberation has taken place. And therefore, Saya Eshontar Hridaya Akashaha Tasmin Ayam Purushaha Manomayaha. Now in this Hridaya, how is this Purusha? The third stage. Manomayaha. Now Manomayam is Vijnanamayaha. Manaha Vijnanam. Manute Jnana Karmanaha. Because the Dhatu Man is used for the meaning of understanding, thinking, contemplation. So, Tanmayaha, Tat Prayaha, Tat Upalabhyatvat. So the mind becomes the instrument for this Jiva to function. And through the mind, everything is contacted by the Jiva. And therefore here, Manomayaha means Vijnanamayaha. So this Vijnanamaya Jiva is coming in contact with the total world through the medium of the mind, and therefore the Jiva is referred in this particular mantra as Manomayaha. It is not Manomaya Kosha. But the Jiva has become Manomaya. He is becoming so much identified first with the mind and then with anything else. That is why when our mind is at peace, we are at peace. When the mind is disturbed, we are disturbed. Because we are functioning only through the mind. So Mano Vijnanam, Manute Jnanam Karmanaha, Tanmayaha, Tat Prayaha, Tat Upalabhyatvat. And this is how we recognize the Jiva with reference to the mind. So if the mind is disturbed, we say we are disturbed, because the Jiva's identification with the mind is the first thing. The Manute Anena Itiva Manoantak Karanan Tat Abhimani Tanmaya Tallingahava. Or Mana means Manute Anena, that by which contemplation or thinking takes place. Therefore, Mana is nothing but Antakkarana. And Tat Abhimani, he who is identified with the mind. That means he who has become Manavan. He who considers that he is the mind. So Tanmaya Tallingaha. So he is Tallinga, he is Upalabdha or available in this mind. Therefore, this Jiva. And how is he? Amritaha, Amarana Dharma, Hiranmayaha, Jyotirmayaha. Now here these two words are again most beautiful words. Now see, this Jiva is first of all brought to our cognition. Now this Jiva is called as Purusha. This Purusha, Jiva is what? He is Amrita, is ever present, cannot be killed. Now please catch this point, it is very, very essential. Unless we take this step, we will not go ahead in our sadhana, whatever we may do. What is that? In the Panchakoshas, the reality expresses This I told you earlier, but I am telling you from different angle. The reality expresses as existence at the Annamaya Kosh level, existence and action or Kriya activity at the level of Pranamaya Kosh, then existence, Kriya and knowledge at the Manomaya Kosh, then existence, Kriya, Jnanam and Vijnanam, where there is a reflection of the reality as Chidabhasa in the Manomaya Kosh. And it is in Manomaya Kosh alone there is a distinct perception of the enlivening of the mind. And this enlivening of the mind, because of the expression of the reality as Chidabhasa, is a distinct phenomenon. And this distinct phenomenon is eternally present. Now if we ask these questions, when was the first wave born? Or when was the first wave created? Now this question has no meaning. Because presence of the waves in the ocean is an eternal phenomenon, whether manifest or not manifest. Can we ask this question? Since when the mirror started reflecting an object in front of it? This phenomenon of reflection of an object in the mirror, even before the creation of the mirror, was existing. It is not created by somebody who discovered the mirror. Since when the law of gravity is operating? Only after Newtonananda? No. It is eternal principle. If this is understood in the same manner, expression of the supreme reality in the Vijnanamaya Kosh as Chidabhasa, and thereafter expressing as the individual propeller of the whole system. It is the eternal principle. And therefore Amritaha, this principle cannot be destroyed. When a car meets with an accident, do we say that the horsepower was destroyed? Or when we put off the engine, can we say that the horsepower is gone? No. The principle of horsepower is Amrita, cannot be destroyed. And in the same manner, the expression of the supreme reality as Jiva, it is a phenomenon, it is a principle, and it can never be destroyed if we understand and identify ourselves with that principle and not with the individuality. That alone is called as Sarvatmya Bhav. Very, very subtle and very essential. There is no other way. And when this is not recognized, we get lost only in I versus you. Now take for example, if we take our Swamiji's work. Now from Swamiji's point of view, all of us are nothing but workers. And if all of us work as workers, there is no problem. But then the question comes, I versus you, I versus he versus she. Then the manifestation of Swamiji in the form of different spiritual workers, that manifestation is reduced to manifested. The Abhivyakti is reduced to Vyakti. And when the Abhivyakti is reduced to Vyakti, it is called as Jiva Bhav. And suffering begins. Therefore, here, when the Jiva is described as Purushaha, it has got two meanings. One, when identified with the individual Panchakosha assembly, a suffering Jiva. When this Jiva does his sadhana and grows out of the limitations of these Panchakoshas and is able to be one with the totality, then the same Jiva is now as Ishvara. This is how in the Mandukya, there is no Aneka Jivavad. It is called as Ajatavad. Nobody is born, nobody dies. And another philosophy they call there is only one Jiva. And they give example like, if you take our own individual body. So individual I have only one, but individual cell in the body, kidney has got its own functioning. So kidney is a vyakti within the body. But as regard I am concerned, I am only one. In the same manner, there is only one jiva, there is only one expression, and in him this total universe is contained, as in me all the individual organs are contained. So whether we take this understanding or that understanding, what is important is that this jiva must recognize that he is not a vyakti, but he is abhivyakti of the Supreme. That is why when we struggle to get happiness, we strengthen individuality. And when we allow happiness to express through us, we weaken our individuality. So more blissful, joyful is our existence. The Supreme is expressing through us. And when our individuality is very strong, we struggle throughout life to get happiness. And we never reach anywhere that station. लोग कहते थे ये रास्ता हैप्पीनेस को जाता है, कहते तो है, जाता नहीं. Will never reach, because our fundamental approach is wrong. Now see how beautiful these two words, Amritaha and Hiranmayaha. So this Amrita we have understood, this principle of Jivatva is immortal. It is always like that. Nobody is created, nobody dies. Now whether you take this principle or you take the Jiva, when the Jiva recognizes his own essential self, discards the limitation, how can he die? He has transcended the death. Therefore, once we understand this basic point about what the Jiva is, then only Amritatva becomes meaningful. Then the second word is Hiranmayaha. Hiranmaya is self-effulgent. He is not borrowing light or knowledge from anything else. And therefore, by Amrutatva, Sat is meant. And by Hiranmaya, Chit is meant. Where knowing is being, reality is revealed. So Hiranmayaha Chit, Amritaha Sat. And this Purusha is simultaneously conscious existence. So that simultaneous conscious existence cannot be limited by any limitations of Panchakoshas. And this has to be recognized by the seeker in his own heart. In his own heart means he has to recognize as his own immediate experience, not a borrowed experience. लोग कहते हैं इसीलिए हो सकता है. That bhajan, Krishnani bega, what is that? Krishna, you beg and we borrow. Is it? Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.